In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto. Question everything, trust nothing. It's your boys, CryptoKeeper, BlockchainCrusader, and you know it's Thursday, so we got CVO Crypto in the house. How is everybody doing this evening? CVO, what's going on with you, man? Anything new?
Doing good. Ready to see what Bitcoin does at this top of the range once again.
Heck yeah. Blockchain
Yeah,
Crusader, Miguelito, ¿cómo estás?
I'm excited for Bitcoin to blast off, but at the same time, I'm sad.
You're sad because we're not at 20K?
Sad, bro. Waiting for that 20K. You know how many other people are waiting for 20K? They've been waiting since last May.
Well, hey, if they're still in, they've been patient at that point. But yeah, so is what it is. Hey guys, listen, make sure that you smash the likes, make sure that you subscribe, do all of those things here in YouTube. But more importantly, tonight, make sure you jump into our Discord. If you're not already there, you're not already coming over from there, our Discord, CVO's got a Discord. We have the information down below the video for you guys. And yeah, our NFT project is going to be jumping. We are excited to share that with you guys. We will drop the roadmap later on and have not decided yet what day we're going to do it. We might do it on Saturday, but have not decided yet. So without further ado, let's take a peek at what's going on in the market overall. I'm going to pull this up here. What do we got? We have today's cryptocurrency prices are up 3.19% to $2 trillion. That's trillion with a T. We're at 2. We need to stay over that number in my estimate. We'll talk to CVO about that in a minute. Bitcoin up 3.6%, up over 44K right now. ETH over 3,100. BNB 415, XRP 84 cents. Cardano still ripping, up 38% this week. They're at up 8% today.
What is going on with Cardano, dude?
Yeah, it's been on an absolute tear, man. That's what always happens. Cardano lulls you to sleep and then just all of a sudden says, see ya, and takes off. So that's good. Solana doing its thing, up over $100 again. Avalanche up a couple percent. We need to get Avalanche up over $100 again. But yeah, I mean, the market overall feels to me like it's it's rather strong, but that's why we have Paul on the channel tonight to find out if it's just my imagination or yeah. Miguel, you got anything you want to share before we jump in with
man?
CBS?
Let's get right into the meat and potatoes.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. What we were just talking about a second ago too, which you know, once again, nothing to get too excited about until we do break the range high. We're going to take a look at here in a second. But I do think that everybody is like, you know, this is like the first time in the last like 2 months where we've run back to about 44, 45K, but it's been slowly running it back. You know what I mean? We've basically just been taking the stairs. The last 2 run-ups have been fast and furious, which isn't necessarily what you want to see. What you want to see is pretty much what we've been doing. But it makes everybody timid, right? So, you know, the longer we remain in a certain area, it's people start stacking shorts and thinking that, you know, it's just going to pull back. And especially since we've ran it up and dropped and ran it up and dropped and ran it up and dropped and everything going around news wise, you know, I think that it just kind of makes for an even split. So it's very interesting to see.
Do you think that any of this run up has anything to do with the fact that Russia came out saying that they're accepting Bitcoin for oil?
I do not, but
so hold on. Do you think that it has anything to do with, drum roll please, the Bitcoin conference?
I do not. Well, the reason.
Do you think? Hold on.
Nothing matters.
Do you think that it has anything to do with Danger Close Alpha, our new NFT drop?
I think it has something to do with Miguel not wearing a hat tonight, and it's getting everybody, you know, riled up.
Yeah,
so
it is.
I knew it was the secret out. I knew we had something to do with it.
We see the full hair tonight.
That's good.
All right, I'll go ahead and share my screen. I didn't even, you know, like once again, I don't know much about what's going down with certain news catalysts, I guess, with that. So this is just literally the same range we've been trading within for
a long time.
Since January 5th, I think it's been. All right, so this is just actually a blank chart here. Let me see here. I don't know why this isn't. Let me share my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. It's telling me you can't see it. But so I got just a blank screen here, right? So this is just, if you're looking at this, I think Nick was talking about, a little small bull flag showing up on ETH and BTC, which at the moment, this is probably more so like a little bullish pennant, maybe even a bear flag if you want to consider it. But regardless, in a pattern form, that's kind of all that's going on the 1 hour time frame. This is a really short time frame compared going out to the 4 hour, right? I'm just kind of taking a zoomed out approach, just looking at price action alone at the moment, right? Very easy to see. We still really have not come up. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. And still haven't made that higher high quite yet. Blurry, huh?
Yeah, just see if we can fix that real quick.
Yeah, I was going to tell you that too, but no big deal. In the meantime, Miguel,
it should be good now.
You got it?
Yep, perfect.
Okay, yeah, high def was turned off. So looking here, right, we're seeing we have a higher high over here. We've got our higher lows in play across the board. So far, I guess we could say we came through and made a higher high against this high right here, but we really want to take out this level right here, which is about 45K, and that's just on a standard price action. I think that most would agree to that in the short term here. You could start drawing, triangles in this area as far as if you're going to look for an ascending triangle out of this or whatever. But we're going to take a look at the range that we've been looking at for several weeks.
Let's smash a one in the let's smash a one in the chat. If you guys are bullish that over the next week we are headed upward, smash a 2 if you're thinking we're going to head back down. So if you're bullish or bearish, 1 or 2, let us know in the chat.
What's today? Thursday? Yeah, so
Thursday.
Yes, sir.
It's usually Thursday night when we get a move here, so it's going to be interesting.
Well, we are the ones that ultimately move the Bitcoin market. People, that's why they tune in. They're like, "Oh, CBO's here, and that's it. We're moving. Let's get it."
Yeah, I've somehow the last few times I've went live, and it's been a pretty drastic move every single time, except for like I said, like right here. Even though I've been live during some of these candles on the way up. All right. Anyway, so we're taking a look at this range, and we've been in this range now since January 5th, right? And essentially, we oscillate from range low to range high. We've got a few targets in between here, some key levels, and your point of control is your natural target, give or take from where you're at. So here, right, we re-entered the range. This was back in February, right? Ran it up. You can see how we met that point of control. Held it for a bit as resistance. Ran it straight up. Got that range high. Basically, just shot above, got rejected. Shot above, got rejected. Back down to the point of control. Another stab at it. Lower high. That's pretty good indication you're going to head lower at this point. Once you re-enter the range, you got a pretty big chance you're going to go back to the range low, especially when you lose that point of control. So over here, it's exactly what we did. Cycled all the way through. This was our big news catalyst, I guess you can say that around this time frame, right? From here, basically, once again, re-entered the range, ran to the range high, rejected once again, range low. Didn't necessarily get to the range high in this aspect, just kind of got rejected right here at the point of control. But as you can see, we've just literally just been trading within this, right? What we were talking about earlier is that the last 2 times, however, that we ran up to the high, which if you're not looking at this, obviously you're just looking at the price levels, and you're just hearing the term 44K, 45K, and it's just obviously price alone is what it inspires everybody's sentiment. But you can see here, right? We just basically shot straight up, not very healthy in the short term, and then we got that pullback. You shoot straight up, not very healthy in the short term, and over here we've been taking the stairs, so to speak. So very interesting to see. Once again, still could 100% just get rejected at this range high. And then
what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, Paul, on why we've been taking the stairs? I think that I've noticed that people, what I've seen as it relates to YouTube, as it relates to TikTok, as it relates to all social media, and I'm sure you've seen this as well. Views are down, and people are actively they're bored out of the market. And if you ask me, those people are going to be the people that are not going to succeed long term when they get bored out of the market, because
it feels a lot like summer, right?
Yeah. So any thoughts on why we've stair-stepped with such stealth, caution, if you will, caution? Yeah.
It's just when you have a drastic move up or down, right, there's usually some consolidation, and essentially that's just what we've been doing, and you get to that point, like you just said, where you just it gets really wound pretty tight. These were really drastic moves here, and what these are built for, in my opinion, is to shake people out along the way, right? So we get down to these scary lows, right? These were our NPOCs at the time, right? We were looking for these targets, and one of them did not get hit, but when we were coming down here, let's see here. I should have it in here, sorry. We had one right there and one right there, right? So this was one of our areas we were looking for right here, about 33,500. But when we came down to this, we fell from 46. I mean, we fell all the way, obviously, from 70K down to this area. But in the short period of time, we fell from 46,000 all the way to this level. People get shook out. This was like, once again, this was like a Fed meeting, or as far as news around this time was a Fed meeting or the energy thing in Kazakhstan, one or two. Then we run it back up, and anybody that got out of the market here, or that, maybe people have been wanting to get in, like Miguel had said, maybe people have been waiting for 20K or 29 or 30. We got really, I mean, this is within 10% of 30K. And if you weren't entering here, if you were, your plan was to, that's sometimes can be a bad move, right? If you're looking for that exact rounded number. Once again, this was a major volume target at the time. This was a monthly NPOC. And from here, quick move back to the upside.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Monthly.
It's a naked point of control. So this is one of these point of controls here that was not back tested, and it's got a pretty high probability of coming back and getting filled. So not that it has to, but it's when we get pretty close to these price levels, you tend to get it. So it's almost surprising that we didn't get this one. And I would almost hate to leave it behind if we do turn around from here, because it's almost like we may see the same thing again after we run it back to 60K. But just take it step by step at the moment. But regardless, talking about the quick actions here of just shaking people out, right? You get a quick move down, scared people out more than likely. Or once again, if you were waiting to buy lower, this is, one of the hardest things to do is try to come in here and buy when the news is scary. Well, then you get a quick sharp move back to the upside. Everybody thinks we're going straight back up. The same thing. You're looking for this range high to really be broken and reclaimed. We did not. We got just a couple wicks above, right? Rejection from here. News, I don't know. Actually, I think this was when the Russia news was actually starting to come out around Valentine's Day. This was the weekend right before things got really crazy over there, right? And we actually fell to here before the big invasion, so to speak. And then we, dropped it to this level right there the night of. This one right here, this was actually right into the middle of a previous range, because right here, all this information, I'm not going to pull it up, just I don't want to confuse everybody. But regardless, this was a range right below us that we've been ducking around for the last few. This is actually from last year almost. But at the end of the day, we dropped down. News was very scary once again. At this point, this is what I was saying the other day. Like the news can be one of two things, and I'm not going to say that you shouldn't use it. I just don't personally. It's a little too immediate, right? If you're going to go off of news, because I will say that the price action is sometimes timed with the news, but if you're going to go off of news alone, it's really hard to go through that. But that's just me. If you can do the fundamentals and all that stuff, then that's perfect. But this is a really good example to me of, we had literally WW3 breaking out right here, and the price action fell from the same exact level, and we did not even make a lower low compared to the month before, where the fear in the street was a Fed meeting. So once again, quick move down, quick move back up. Go ahead.
I was just saying, finish up what you're saying. Then I wanted to ask you a question.
Oh yeah. So, and just these quick move downs, quick moves up. I mean, they're generally met with the other the other way as well. So same thing again. You had one last move to the upside here. You really want to see that range high broke? Did not do it, and just cycled the range once again. So this price action is actually more of what you'd want to see. And this is pretty much, because right now if you're going to look at anything in pretend you're in like a pattern, so to speak, right here, like if you're in a bull flag or something, you're basically coiling up now up to the range high, and you're pressing, you're putting pressure up here at this range high. You've already come up here and tagged this once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This would be the 8th time at the range high. More than likely, we're probably going to take it out this time, in my opinion. But that's yet to be seen, of course.
From the sheer number of times we've touched it.
Yeah, just in general. I mean, and just the approach at this point, and then
we've got almost like a triple bottom.
Yeah, I mean, and
you
do have higher lows across the board here, and certain timing as well that goes along into it. But yeah, I mean, to me, I think this is pretty healthy here. You know, we've pretty much just like gone through these like same exact levels that we've been watching, right? We've got our range low. We have a 2-year high time frame average price here, a monthly key level, the point of control, which we ran it back to several times. This one was the one I wanted to, see us get above, recently, because you want to be living above that monthly open. Mind you, the month is about to end, and we had not been above the monthly open since the month began. So we basically opened the month up here and we just lived below it the entire time. So this recent move last night is a good thing to see. You're seeing 4-hour candles close. It is almost 8 o'clock. So you're going to close a daily above this as well. And that's exactly what you want to see. So you might get a pullback, back down to this area just to kind of get that retest. And right, you might see something like that and then actually come through, take out this range high for once, come back down, retest it. We take out this range high and it's probably a quick move up to this yearly key level right here. This is the next one for me, which is 47,700. Next range high comes in about 50,200. And then
so before we get up there to those ranges, is there any way, besides the fact that we've been step climbing, like you said, to this range high right here at 44, any indicator, anything that indicates the likelihood of breaking above that 44 and keep moving, or it's just we'll have to wait and see?
Yeah, I mean, it's there's,
I'm just saying, is there anything in TA specific that can somewhat give you some type of insight into what the likelihood it is of breaking out of a range high or a range low?
I mean, there's no bearish divergence as far as that goes. You can look at order flow and open interest a bit, but yeah, I mean, realistically, it's just I'm just paying attention to the levels here. So, I mean, at this point, as long as we don't lose this monthly open, more than likely, yeah, we're probably going to come through and take this out here in the, somewhat.
That monthly open was 43,048. Is that the gold number, the yellow number there?
43,180. Yeah.
43,180. Okay. So for those of you, again, obviously, as always, guys, none of this is financial advice, but for those of you that are looking for a number to go off of, if you were to go long, short, whatever the case may be, it looks like that's an important number to look at. So that 43,180, for those of you paying attention and looking to go either long or short on a short-term trade, that would be maybe the number to be peaking at. So,
yeah, I mean, as far as going long and short, anything like that, you really wouldn't want to probably do that at this point. Taking longs would have been at the range low.
Of course, if we could all buy bottoms and sell tops, we'd love to do that.
But I'm just saying, realistically, coming down to this is your support. This would be but you're pretty much buying in the middle, here essentially. So if you're going to be looking for, the next long opportunity, which, this would probably be something you want to look for, is see that range high flipped as support.
Okay.
And then realistically, I know this is going to sound a little nuts because it's, 2,000-3,000 above us. But once again, this is about, managing your risk a little bit. You probably want to look for that next range to get entered. But yeah, technically you'd want to be look for shorts around this area. But like I said, this is just one of those times where, this at some point this range is going to break. So that last trade you would take, essentially you'd be taking shorts here, longs here, shorts here, longs here. One of those two, that last trade you're going to take is going to get stopped out because we are going to break it at some point. And I would imagine it is going to be this one here. Just can't tell if we're going to get that pullback back to the monthly open one last time.
So don't listen to CryptoKeeper. Take what I just said, throw it out the window like a banana peel running down the road, right?
Yeah.
But no, for real though, that's
not a surprise. Never listen to CryptoKeeper.
I know. Listen, this is why we bring Paul onto the channel. He has much better technical analysis skills. It's what he does, my friend.
Yeah. So Paul, what makes 47K a 12-month key level? Like, how do you identify that? Or
it is what it is. I just created it. So
just fugazied it into
I am the chart wizard, and if you want to know, you're gonna need
that's just as this is here. This is the 2-year average price of Bitcoin. This is the yearly average price of Bitcoin here. So
the yearly average is
just an
high?
average. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't average. So it's literally the like if you're looking at any kind of support and resistance, I mean these things tend to return to their averages pretty well. So the yearly is a pretty big one. And then realistically, if you're looking in as far as like, once again, you play around in these ranges here, and there's a range everywhere, right? Bitcoin pretty much is range bound 80% of the time, right? You can go through here and, you can see it everywhere. Basically, you get one big move, right? And then you essentially just consolidate and get the next big move, whether it is up or down. and then you consolidate for quite a while. It's just kind of like the schematic, right? Bitcoin takes the big move, whichever way it is. Then the altcoins follow for a few weeks. Bitcoin kind of goes sideways for a few weeks. Then you get the next big move out of Bitcoin. Then you get the next big moves out of the altcoins, and then just kind of ebbs and flows together. One thing I will point. Okay, so the next range I wanted to bring that one up, and this is
Hey, can I pause you real quick?
Go ahead.
CVO, check this out. You see the what is magic internet money? Think about the macro in the coming months. Can you give us just a little sneak preview, just a ball? Like, is he thinking up, down? You don't have to get specific. We know that, hey guys, and also if you guys are wanting information like that on a daily basis, you got to jump into the Discord. CVO and Magic have a Discord where literally all of this stuff that they are doing, they are teaching, right? So it's not even just, hey, listen to what I've got to say on this, that, the third. They're actually teaching a lot of this stuff. So I know it's been super valuable for Miguel and I. And so 100%. If you guys are looking to do that, jump into CVO.
Leading crypto, leading crypto Discord.
Just to answer that, I guess briefly, Magic Internet Money. If you were to ask him if we were in a bear market, his answer would be no. And he has, really? full on anticipation of a lengthening cycle, and always has. It's one of the things that attracted me to him. When I first kind of, I came across him like a year and a half ago, really, and then after the end of the year, it didn't pan out too well for me. I was like, all right, I'm gonna pair up with this guy, get a different, point of view, this and that. And just, his analysis is out of this world. And, not to say when the market would be peaking or anything like that, because once again, we're just going to go with it as we're going. But he does have some pretty big monumental pivotal moves in the market, let's just say, for the end of this year and the beginning of next year, Q1 of next year. So take that for what it's worth. But it's
if you want those exclusive details, Leading Crypto Discord is where they're at.
That's right.
Magic reads the charts, doesn't tell fortunes. Okay, so
Mark, hey, listen, Mark, you haven't seen the wand that he carries around? It's like a Harry Potter wand. He can make the charts just do what I
wouldn't be surprised if he did. Honestly,
it feels like that sometimes.
I've never seen. He's a beast.
Yeah,
but so with this kind of whole stair stepping aspect here, once again, you could overextend yourself with looking through the RSIs and look. Actually, one thing I haven't looked through in a while, which I did want to take a peek at, and we'll do it right here, right now, and we'll do it in a second. Remind me to do the EMAs here in a second. So
you're asking somebody with mad ADD to remind you to do something.
Yeah. Tell me to do something in a second. But look, so let's just pretend like this really is the line in the sand, right? So at this point, realistically, the probability, not that this is what I think is going to go down, but probability of rejection at the range high is what you should be anticipating, right? That's really what we would be looking for technically. And then you have the possibility to run it back down range low. You get your point of control, you get all this stuff coming back into play. The amount of times we've ran through at this point, I just don't see that happening. But that's neither here nor there. But regardless, we break through this range, come back, regard that as support, start closing above. We get that daily close above this range high, especially similar to like this. Then we are probably going to have, like I said, a smooth sail back into this next range above us. Realistically, we got a natural born target of the point of control up here. That's about $49,000, but we do have the yearly key level in our way along the way. So whether or not this is just a straight, God candle, as some like to call them, or not, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I would imagine that a pretty good short squeeze might come out of this too, because like I said, the slower that we actually run up to this position, the more amount of people are trying to come in, I think, in short, especially the longer we stay up here without like really breaking out with conviction at this point. Unlike these moves up here, where everybody was trying to long because they just moved so fast. Everybody's trying to catch longs right here, thinking we were going straight back. This slow move, every single resistance, everybody's been trying to short, and it's just not been, not been.
So what you're saying is we're gonna skyrocket for the Bitcoin conference. Will that rocket explode on the way up?
That would be, that's going to be so funny because
if it does, it'll be nuts.
We talked about this months ago, man, back in January, how we were saying when you brought up that conference, I was like, man, it has been pretty, last year it was the Bitcoin conference,
almost
in April. And then, it was May, obviously, when things really topped out and slowed down.
No, I think it was April. I think it was actually April 16th. I think so. It was within like a week, I believe. I think April 16th was the day of the, not to correct you, but I think it was April 16th, I think was the top at the Coinbase IPO. You can check, but I
No,
think
the big crash came in May, not in April.
Agreed,
Right,
agreed.
yeah.
But I'm saying the top though was right.
April 15th was the height.
It's almost as if I pay attention to these markets, dude. That's
right.
Incredible.
All right, you didn't remind me about my my
what
things.
the EMAs.
Oh yeah. Hey, reminder.
Okay. So for the EMAs, I always look for like a bullish cross or bearish cross, and I know that's a little bit of a lagging indicator, obviously, but they do tend to lead to some pretty long, lengthy moves, especially on a daily time. So I'm on a daily time frame here, and I haven't looked at this in a while. And look at that, we're about to get the daily cross right now. So this is a pretty big deal, actually, in my opinion. This is one of the few things I look for heavily on the EMAs is this daily cross, and I'll kind of back test this a little bit and show you something. So blue crossing below red is a bearish cross, and this is a daily time frame. So mind you, this was
what EMAs are those they were looking
this
at?
Is 55 is red, and 20. You could do 20 or 21, but 55 is red. The 20 is blue. This. I mean, I'll take it back all the way to last year, basically.
And how come you only focus on those and not like the 100 and the 200 as well? Is there like a specific reason? Is it just more? These two are more important than the other two?
Not more important. They're more of they're just a shorter term. So I mean, like by the time you're getting like 100 and all that, I mean that's a pretty lengthy time frame in my opinion. But I just in general, I just go over those, I guess. So that's maybe situational, so to speak. But
just like a lot of things, I mean, let's be fair. Paul's going to look at one thing because of how him and Magic are looking at the charts. Just the same, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to get the understanding for the people in the audience on why we're looking at certain things.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm really excited about that, actually. Not like overexcited, I guess, but I'll be anticipating, next
not like Bitcoin conference excited.
But just taking a look at this though is interesting, right? Nonetheless, is that back here was our last, not our last, but last year, 2020 actually, we got our one of the most recent bullish crosses, and you can see blue, right, kind of runs it up. Well, we got the bearish cross up here in May, right? Even though it's, like I said, it's lagging, so don't get me wrong, it's still a lagging indicator to pay attention to, I guess. But each time they do, drive into a lengthened, downtrend or uptrend, depending on what you're looking at. Because I mean,
when it does cross it,
obviously that was May, and we didn't get the next bullish till all the way here in August. This one was a little bit shorter, but this was still a month and a half run here. And I wouldn't even consider this a cross. This was almost like a fake out because we straight up ran it up. You got one day of a bearish cross, so to speak, and then it ran it up from there, pumped right out of it. So in my eyes, I would probably look at this more so as still like a pretty nice run up here. But then the last one we got was right there, and if this one's crossing over, that's a pretty big indicator, in my opinion, for a long-term uptrend. Whether that means 1 or 2 months, 6 months, whatever. But at least probably a few weeks to 1 or 2 months, I would say we're gonna be sitting pretty. And there's no way of stopping this at this point. That's gonna cross. Like, this is a daily time frame, and on the EMAs, which they react a little bit quicker, so that's definitely going to cross through. So interesting to see.
Yeah, hopefully it stays above and it's not a fake out.
Yeah, it could be, right.
I feel like
that's why like at the same time, I'm looking at this range as well. So it's interesting to see how things are lining up. We're slowly stepping it up to the range high. You're about to have this, bullish cross over here in the EMAs. Just a lot of things are lining up. The timing is, a pretty big piece of it. What I mean by that is that we've been in this consolidation and correction for almost 4 months now. So it's something of note.
I also just want to throw in there. We're not used to seeing this stair step, right? We're not used to seeing these slower moves with Bitcoin. As we look back, just like you were showing earlier, it's chaos. It's up, and then it's boring, and then it's down, and then it's boring, and then it's up, and it's kind of all over the place. And I think the interesting thing here is the reason, partially, that I think people are so timid is because we haven't shown like this just where we're like, bull, let's go. It's just been very kind of a timid move, and I think
one thing that we and all credit to Magic is on these ranges, right? And when they really became, like this is how the institutions, whatever, whether you take that with a grain of salt or not. But when you hear about like market manipulation and this and this and this, and you see all these high moves and everything like that, and then you go watch Magic Internet Money pull out his chart, man, and he's like, oh yeah, we had a TPO here, you had single prints here, and it's like well aware of every aspect of what Bitcoin could do and when. And this is why, we tune out all the noise, the news, everything like that. And it's just, it's a totally different world. But we talk about how that December high, the December high back here, this was the day everything changed, because this is when Bitcoin got listed on CME futures, right? Yep. And ever since then, now we got ranges. Ever since then, right? You get this huge range, which I know that this wouldn't look like that, but essentially this was a huge range back here, although this was thought of as the bear market, whatever. And we talked about this a couple times so far, right? That this could very well have been a bear market all the way from this May top, or you could consider that too. Very similar to what we had here. This was a 2-year time frame. By the time maybe we break out of this, if we do, this could go on 2 years at this point. But this has been one solid move up, right? Enter a new range, basically. Boom, boom, boom. We're just range bound for several, whatever. This has been 15 months almost. But the interesting to note is that that I just want to bring up is pay attention to the time frames, because right now we're slowly stair stepping into what? And think about an institutional based thing, right?
What, in the end of the quarter?
Exactly. Yeah. And April 1st is quarter 2, right? So, it'd be interesting to see.
Can you explain, CVO, why for there's a lot of people that follow us, and I'm sure you as well, that maybe are newer to the crypto space. Can you explain for the people why it matters that we're towards the end of a quarter?
It just, as far as reporting, I mean, there's endless things that line up with, the quarters in a sense, right? So like you could look, one thing is to look back on when you're looking through a chart here, for example, like when we run ranges too, like you're taking time based for a lot of it. And a lot of it comes out as, you could take a monthly time frame, a quarterly time frame, the yearly time frame. And it's like the market makers almost, they like, time everything around. It's just like the stock market. Think about how the sell in May and walk away idea has been around forever, because once again, that's basically coming out of quarter 2. At that point, you got your September sell off, you got your Christmas Santa rallies and all this and all that. Why do all those kind of why are the focal points around the end of each quarter? You know what I mean? Like, you don't think about it, but it all lines up at those certain peaks. When you think of all the altcoin rallies that we see, the majority of them are in the third month, towards the third month of the quarter. It's balance, balancing out order books, balance sheets. I mean, there's a ton of
well, and then there's options,
options. Yeah, there's multiple reasons that could go into that, but just in general, like paying attention for those time frames is something that is of note now. Like Bitcoin is big enough now, and I think has matured enough to where.
So quick question about these ranges, right? You mentioned the range from 2017 on, talking about this range being a multiple range. So I guess you can call this fan theory over here, fan fiction. I don't know what you want to call it, but theory. Do you think it's possible that we can keep on ranging between this range low that we've created now and the range high, right, of 69 or 70, whatever that is, for the next year and a half until the next Bitcoin halving? And the Bitcoin halving could be the leading factor of these big, long ranges finally breaking out?
I think that the Bitcoin halving is not going to have it'll be a news point around it, but I think that, especially, and whatever, take this for what it's worth, of course, but, just with the timing alone, if this is how we're going to do things, eventually we're going to, as more market cap comes into the market, obviously that's what is like taking that cycle, longer. We ran up, previous cycle to, 2017 highs with only like 2,000 projects and whatever, and it was only 800 million or $800 billion market cap. If we're going to see, tens of trillions entering this market, it's going to obviously take some time. So yeah, I mean, it's very possible that we could range within this area. But once again, not to, put all your eggs in that basket and just assume that, right now, I think it's a very good chance that we're going to be running it back up towards, depending on how we break out of this range and how things go in the next couple of weeks here, that we probably run it back towards that 60K. And we'll have to be paying attention around there. And could we literally just do the same thing we did back in November and May of last year, turn around and come back down and fill that NPOC that we were just talking about? Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I don't love the fact if we turn around now and not fill out, there's a couple more of those even, but they don't have to fill either. So, I mean, it's not like that's a guarantee. But yeah, I mean, it's something to pay attention for. I think that a lot of people also, though, are anticipating that. So that's something to be aware of, is that many are to the point where they're ready to sell their bags on the way up this time. You know, like I said, there's a gentleman that's pretty, you know, what's the word? Popular or whatever, like blockchain backer guy, right? He, a lot of people, you know, have been like probably glued to his bear market analysis where we get that run up back to 57, 58K, which also coincides right with a massive point of control from last year. So that is a major area of interest regardless. And if we do get rejected from there, I think that most people would probably look at that as we're going to run it back. So it just depends on how things unfold over the next few months. But in the short term, looking up, man, I'm just paying attention to the range we're in right now. I do think that we're going to have some good weeks to months, especially, like I said, looking at that EMA cross coming in on the daily. And not to say that's the only thing. That's the first time I even looked at that in a few months at this point. But yeah, a lot of things are lining up for a good couple weeks and months. And I think that everybody's fear at the moment is still really high. I think everybody's really timid, really afraid to buy, really afraid, really anxious and ready to sell.
But I think that's why and that's kind of what I was getting at. I think it's because we have seen so often retail wanting to jump in as part of that FOMO, those big moves. Oh, I got to get in. I got to go get. And we haven't had that recently. And they've been hearing a lot of the influencers say exactly what I've been saying, what Miguel's been saying, what you've been saying. Hey, we've got some BitBoy's been saying it. I've heard a lot of people say, like, I'm unsure of what's going on, whereas they used to, you know, they were used to hearing us say, listen, it's going to 100K, it's doing this, it's doing that, and there's just a lot of uncertainty, and I feel like that has been part of what's slowed down the retail.
So are you saying that all the influencers got MK Ultra'd into saying that now the market is, you know, unstable, we don't know,
absolutely,
and
the
now
CIA has been dropping acid
everyone doesn't know, and that's when the market is going to rip. Yes, and that's when everybody's going to sell out.
The
early.
CIA has been dropping acid.
Yep,
that's right. They've been dropping acid into all of our drinks, and we are all now complicit in the operation. Yes,
I would love to give a true and blue outlook, but I you know, as far as the long term here, like I'm not willing to do that just because it's, you know, last time I did, right, like we were looking at that December outcome, and it just I don't think people can what's the word,
you can't handle the truth,
can't adapt fast enough is the problem, right? So that's you know, right now it's just like making everything very adaptable as we go. But yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, even, you know, looking back, you know, Magic Internet Money, if anybody's not following him, give him a follow, and I'll let you, you know, in our group too, we go over, you know, he goes over his analysis twice a week in an exclusive members only market update. And you know, my initial analysis for the end of this cycle, my initial analysis, granted the freaking target for Bitcoin was out there, but the dates were August of 2022 through April of 2023. And then I dialed it back last summer as I saw a lot of things lining up with the previous cycle and whatever. And I was like, you know what, this might actually end this December, blah, 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 blah. Obviously that did not unfold. So I'm interested to see how my initial time frame lines up, but his analysis goes way more in depth than what I pulled up. Like, he goes into fib times. I mean, and once again, not that, you know, saying that, oh, it's going to 200K by this date or anything like that. It's just pointing out pivotal moments in the market, and we'll be along for the ride to see which way it goes. Because realistically, nobody does know, right? Like we were all going off of with the overconfidence at times with oh, it's definitely doing this, right? Like, so that is something that you probably want to dial back. And I learned that, you know, more than anybody, I'm sure. And don't want to lead people the wrong way. And even though this is not financial advice by any means, people will not do their own research, and that's just kind of the way it is. So you got to be cautious on how you present information, especially these days. So,
but I just want to say real quick for everybody watching, whether they're already in your group or not in your group, and they're looking to join. If you think what Paul, right, CVO is doing here is amazing, which we all think it is, and you think, you know, whether he was wrong in the past or not, everyone is wrong at some point. The level of skill that it takes to do what Paul is doing, along with Magic Internet Money, right? I'm in there. I'm not trying to shill something just because he's our friend. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, what they do in there is an amazing work, and they spend all day looking at charts to bring the best information possible. So if you are looking for something in more detail than just what you see here on TA Thursday, and this is why you tune in for TA Thursday, if you want something more detailed, definitely, way more hardcore, educational, and informative, definitely check out Leading Crypto, their Discord channel, their YouTube channel. Check it out. Join their group. Definitely be worth the money.
And Heidi, thank you for the super chat. As always, when Paul comes on, she's here to troll you at all times, Paul. We already know what time it is there. So
it really is.
Thank you very much, Heidi. We appreciate it.
Take a shield pill. Thanks. Yeah, appreciate you guys. But and that's just the thing, right, man? And like, I think everybody just had to get humbled, right? A little humble pie. And for me, it's like I still fully anticipate meeting the targets that I've set in place. It's just the timing. I think is going to be obviously at this point we've seen it unfold. So
Paul, real quick before you dive into before you dive a little bit further, I want to ask you something. Yeah. So the grid goes down. Okay, you are at home wherever you are right now. Are you ready
for the grid to go down?
Are you ready for what happens after if the grid goes down or something like that were to happen? Are you actually ready? How long do you think you and your family are going to be able to survive?
Oh, man. I probably have to.
That's a hard question to answer.
Yeah, it's a very tough question. So I just want to throw out there, since we're talking about taking a shill pill, right? If you want to get in to the hottest NFT project around, Danger Close Alpha, the link is down below the video. It is unlike any NFT project you guys have ever seen. I promise you, the literal use case is to set you up to be prepared to answer that question that I just posed to Paul, because the reality is, and I'm not busting on Paul's, right? Rhymes with Paul's. I'm not busting on him for not answering that question right away.
Everyone needs to be more prepared.
Yes, everyone, including myself, including Miguel, including, just everybody needs to be more prepared. And there's some very simple things that you can do, and there's some very complex things you can do. But the facts are, I think most of us think that we have this cushy life in the United States where nothing can come over here. And the reality is, I'm not trying to sell fear. I'm just trying to say that there is absolutely 100% as much opportunity for things to go bad over here as in another country. And so ultimately the use case on the NFT project, not only is the art going to be dope because we've got a dope artist, but on top of that, the use case is going to be fun. It's going to be a community like no other, but it's going to have you ready. It's going to have you prepared and actually give you the opportunity to be able to answer that question with confidence. Like, hey, I know what to do, when to do it, how to do it, where to do it, and why to do it. And I've got people to do it with. So yeah, that's my shield pill.
Yeah, aka it's not about the metaverse. It's more about real life utility.
That's right.
And it's not just like, oh yeah, this project has utility. You can make an avatar out of your JPEG. No, it's going to be real life events, real life resources, real life skills are going to be acquired due to holding these NFTs. So definitely check it out. Join our Discord and get in, bro. You still can
get in where you fit in.
But let's get back into the chart. Where's the Ethereum going?
Has been taken. All right, we're back.
Take a shill pill. I really like that. All right, so Nick, you have to tell us if you took a long or a short right now, because that will dictate where Ethereum is going.
Absolutely, you're just going to do the opposite. You're just going to do the exact opposite of what I tell you to do here, and you will be good. I actually am not in a position right now, but if you can zoom in just a little bit for me, I want to tell you actually what I would do here. Let me see. I think that I'm looking for that 12-month key level to actually hold. Okay. And if it doesn't, I'm shorting down to the range high, and then I'm seeing if that holds. And if that holds and bounces back, I'm now longing from there on the way back up. That's what I'm doing.
You're telling me you're not going to long that bull flag or bull pennant that you're seeing right there?
I love everything. I love everything about Ethereum, but I'm just telling you what I have been taught, and maybe I was taught incorrectly, but I think that 12-month key level needs to hold. If not, it's the range high that needs to hold. That's where I'm at.
That's it.
Final answer. That's it.
I was looking at this for the first time in a couple hours too. It's interesting to see, right? We just had that bust through. So, all right, we'll dial it back here a little bit. So Ethereum, had, unlike Bitcoin, which punched up to its range high like 5 times in the last few weeks. ETH didn't necessarily reach the range high recently, right? We kind of like poked around near it, and then we got that pullback with the whole market, blah 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 blah. And I'm trying. I hope this doesn't look too confusing. I try to not have too many levels on here, but it's like 8 lines, so I hope that you guys can deal. Point of control down here, right? But basically battled that out for a hot minute back on the 15th. Overtook that. Next level is our 2-year key level right here. Overtook that, reclaim, retest, and then run up. Today was the first day we actually punched through the range high, and we've already closed probably a daily at this point too. We closed the 4-hour candle, we just closed the daily above the range high and the 12-month. So not to say we can't come back in. Obviously, we've done this before, but very something's going on in my kitchen there. Very interesting to see
Cooking?
How. Go
Cooking?
ahead.
Is that what's going on?
Oh
Cooking?
yeah, I hope so. Or the house is on fire, one of the two. But yeah, at this point too, you kind of want to level up and see how Bitcoin reacts at its range high right now. So interesting enough, while Bitcoin's coming into major resistance, you got ETH punching through it. So as far as for altcoins and things of that nature goes, that's possibly one of 2 things, because a lot of times the altcoins do tend to almost front run Bitcoin a bit. Like they'll get in positions where it's like, oh, the ETH is looking good, all this and all that, but then you go to look at Bitcoin and you kind of get scared out because you're like, oh, Bitcoin's at resistance, maybe I shouldn't enter or something like that. And then essentially Bitcoin gets this huge break, and then all the altcoins break with it, obviously. So it's just interesting. We're going to really have to pay attention to see what happens with Bitcoin over here. We did just close the daily above those levels for Bitcoin as well. How Asia starts coming in, with the overnight game. But as far as ETH goes, Nick, you're 100% right. You want to see this 12-month key level held. Yes. Lose that, you are looking back down to the range high, and essentially if you re-enter the range, well, then you start paying attention for some rejections, because at that point you're really on a journey back down to the point of control essentially, and then overall your range low. Once again, I don't necessarily anticipate that at the moment, and that's all just dependent on how this all plays out. But going to be interesting to see.
It feels nice seeing ETH back over 3K, and we're not only back up over 3K, we're I think we're over 3,100 right now.
We are, and what's really nice is that there's nothing in the way.
That's right.
And I say nothing. There's some stair steppers, but I really I really anticipate if we're going to see a move out of Bitcoin, it's not going to be slow at this point. This one's probably going to be fast and furious. Probably going to be initiated by shorts coming on. You can look at order flow and open interest and all this and all that and whatever, but it's probably going to be fueled by people trying to short at these levels, because like I said, we've been sitting and chilling around 44K, not breaking it about a day, half a day so far. You got ETH, it's now comfortably over 3K, but it wasn't for most of the day. So I have to imagine most people are probably trying to short, and once they get stopped out, liquidations come in, then that's kind of one big thing that kind of fuels that move to the upside on top of market makers coming in. But for ETH here, if that does take place, we got realistically, you want to see this area kind of taken out, right? 3,200, let's just say. But if we hold this yearly key level, it's not nothing. It's a smooth sail in my opinion, up to the yearly open, which is 36.77. And I love a triple stacked area, whether it's support or resistance. So this is resistance, but this becomes a target at this point.
What did you call it?
A triple stacked area, because it's got a bunch of stuff stacked in this like $200 window.
Oh, okay. So I got you.
You got a quarterly key level. We got the golden pocket, which is basically the 0.618 level from the whole move down from 4,800 to the 100 low. And then you've got a NPOC, so one of those volume targets we were talking about earlier. So this is where we left a point of control untapped back here in December. And it just so happened, this is the most important one. And it's right at 4,000 even. So once again, a nice rounded number. So if we do come up and tag that number and get a rejection, which we probably will, everybody will think it's just because it was 4K. Everybody will sell their, set some sells around that area. But yeah, that's pretty much ETH in the short term.
You got any? Let me ask you this. So we kind of got an idea of the overview of kind of ETH and Bitcoin, which ultimately leads the way for the people, because they always want to know before we close out this evening. You got any lower cap, anything that you're at least peeking at? Maybe not a full, maybe not a full on analysis, but anything at all that you're looking at, or is the market a little too scary right now, or what do you got?
Is Dogecoin going to hit $1?
Is Dogecoin going to hit $1 for sure? We can take a look at some alts real quick. How much time we got? I mean, it's 49 minutes in. Is it?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We got a couple minutes.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So one that what I touch on a lot is, granted, it's up a bit right now. This is the only thing. A lot of these things are already up, so we'll take a look at a few of them. But XCur was one.
Look at that.
What's that?
I was just looking at the market Viagra it took. I see a big green candle there.
Yeah, so XCur, right? We were looking for this buy zone down here over the last few weeks, and it essentially just came right down into it. This was a Q3, I think it was. So last quarter's point of control right here. Basically ran straight into it, and then from here though we have this overall range that we really want to see gotten back into. The opportunity from the low just to run it back to this range look, because you really haven't even gotten back in this range yet. We do
nice run, man.
Yeah, and that was a big move if you were not in it already, and if you were buying the low. The problem is everybody held throughout the low here. Yeah. But regardless, it'll make its move back. But from that low, if you got in that area, that was an 80% move just to get back to the range low. You're really looking for this to re-enter the range. From there, you got that point of control, yearly open, double stack target coming in at 212, and you got a range high about 263. So that's a short term, uptrend targets to look for in that aspect. VXV, I'm going to do a TikTok right after this, actually, on VXV.
Oh boy, you and Joshua Jake, which, by the way, Joshua Jake and Crypto Mason are going to be on Saturday night versus Miguel and I for our debate. Don't miss it. Joshua Jake, Crypto Mason versus Miguel and myself. And by the way, Josh Mason, if you guys are watching, we are going to bury you in a shallow grave. Okay.
That's funny. VXV, I like VXV for the one reason of the supply size. I mean, it's got a very small supply, very similar to Quant. Honestly, as far as the project making it in life, who knows? But in general, the chart looked good. We came into the range low over here, and this just been from what I look for, especially is when we're this far away from the point of control. That's generally a nice little move, because that's our major target, which we haven't even gotten to yet. But that would have been 100% move start to finish if you entered around these range lows. You see how we had the monthly open, the monthly key level was our area we kind of ran into earlier today. We have since jacked that over and holding that as support at the moment. So the point of control is the next target. From there, we got a quarterly, and ultimately the range high comes in about 330. And once again, that was a 146% opportunity there. ADA, I see somebody asking about, so we'll take a look at that one real quick.
All the Cardano bulls have been waiting forever.
Miguel, we should probably at the end of TA Thursdays, just to make it simple, so that because everybody is going to be tossing stuff in, we should just do hey, super chats are on, guys. If you have something that you really specifically want to hear from Paul, just toss it in the super chat so we make sure to see it. But yeah, sure, go ahead. But what do we got on?
Yeah, I had this one on my list regardless, just because I knew that this one would be whatever. But same thing, right? So a couple, not even weeks at this point, this was 15th. So what, 8 days ago, when Bitcoin was grinded into the low of about 38K, 37K, I was looking for all the altcoins that are at the range low as well. So, and ADA was one of them right here, about 80 cents, 79 cents, I think it was at the time. I put this on there because I started seeing a lot of these possible, Adam and Eve double bottoms, which are popping up on almost every altcoin. Could really have insinuated that we're seeing a bottom for a lot of alts across the board. But regardless, I paired this up with the levels we were looking at anyway. So we were looking for a bounce from the range low towards our quarterly key level. Point of control was our natural target. Yesterday we just took out the point of control, flipped it, and I was looking for this move up here from there. 120 is probably the next area where we pretty much came up to it that I was going to look for a rejection at. I think we came up to 119. Range high after that would be 127, and then you got your yearly open at 130.
We had so much movement. We talked about this a little bit before the show, but we had so much movement in a lot of these alts that I think some of the super, super low prices that people were looking for, there would have to be an absolute meltdown for us to hit some of those numbers, I believe, at least in the projects that are going to stick around, something like Cardano, stuff like that. People looking for a 40-cent Cardano or whatever. That just absolutely would be just, so low. I just don't really see that personally happening.
I agree, and honestly, you know, the low levels we got to around those 30K for Bitcoin, you know, is probably going to be it for a bit. But we'll see how things go. As far as another low cap, once again, low cap, high risk. This is one that hasn't really popped yet. Do some research on the project. Right? I literally don't know anything about it. I just pulled up the chart, and it is Epic Prime.
So hold on, let me ask you something. So
yeah.
This in particular, right? You said I know nothing about this. I just pulled up the chart. What made you pull up the chart? Do you have? Was it on a list somewhere? Was it? Did one of your people in your Discord bring it up? Like what?
Yeah, somebody just asked me about it, and then
Okay.
I just put it together. I mean, this is like literally not even. This is one of the most basic charts I've ever been put together. I literally just threw out the range with the range high. There's not even, you know, monthly open, quarterly, none of that. So the only reason, and once again, it
looks like a terrible chart to me. I mean, it's done nothing but go down.
This is what the one we were just looking at looked like. This is what Jasmine looked like, and that's the thing. This could be a total rug pull. Who knows? Do some research on it. But the reason I bring this up though is that you have the point of control down here right by the range low, and we did finally flip that. So if we hold that, essentially, there's a good chance you're going to run it up to this range high, and that's a pretty decent move. Once again, do not take this as like throw your whole portfolio into this. This is a total gamble. But just for anybody, I was going through my charts real quick trying to find something that hasn't really popped yet, because everything's kind of already rallied. But that's one. And then the other one I was looking at recently, which is already up 60% once again.
Does that say 350%?
Yeah, that one is. Yep.
That is massive. 350%. Holy.
Got a long way to go, though.
Well, like I said, I mean, that's not like, you know.
It might have better chances than XRP, so.
It might. Jasmine was one that looked exactly like that, is what I wanted to show you, right? Like, so same deal, right? You just kind of had this same just lead down, and you had that range low come in, taken, run it back to the point of control, blase. Range high actually originally was up here. It does shift a little bit, but you're talking even at current price right now, that was up 200 and it rallied like 276.
Yeah, actually, we had a couple people in our academy in on Jasmine and made some really good gains from it. Shout out to Mike if you're in the chat. Big Mike, big Florida boy out there making them gains, son.
Big Mike.
That's right.
And then aside from that, we're just waiting on Biddy to bust through and you know, kind of let the rest of the alts run here. Crypto Face, what's up?
Crypto Face in the house. A face. We got an NFT project that I want to throw at you real quick. Just something you might be interested in, bro. We have got we have got Danger Close Alpha. Ultimately, what we're doing, just for those of you that are just joining or don't know what we're doing, jump into our Discord. The link is down below. But we are taking the survival community and the crypto community, meshing the two together. The reality is, our use case on our NFTs are actually going to be real world. We have partnerships that are unlike anything you've seen. We have a roadmap unlike anything you've ever seen, and it literally could save your life if you decide to, you know, get involved. So yeah, stick around, check it out. It is definitely worth taking a look at. So Miguel, you got anything else? I'll email you, Face. I'll shoot you an email, bro.
Yeah, just excited for our NFT project, right? Like we said, all about real life utility. None of these other there's nothing wrong, right? I don't want to make it seem like I'm shitting on these other NFT projects. Lots of NFT projects out there for degens to be flipping.
Yeah,
great art. Our project is gonna have also amazing art, rarities for all the degens to be flipping in and out of all day and make money, and that's great. But what we're bringing to the plate is the real life utility. It's not about the metaverse. It's not about the play to earn. It's about the real life community that actually goes and gains skills, gains resources, gains all in IRL, right? Real life, not the metaverse.
I want to throw out there just to kind of top what you're saying, and not to stay on that topic, but the reality is we're excited about this project, and I want to tell you that we're excited about the project because of the community. Okay, so let's look at it. Yeah, are we going to make money on an NFT drop? Sure, but the reality is, what we are doing when you see this roadmap, you're going to be like, oh, that makes sense, because ultimately there is a ton that's going to be happening to get us prepared for where we're trying to go. And so I'm just super excited, because the reality is, guys, I'll give you one sneak peek. If the grid does go down, we have a solution for communication. I will leave it at that. That is something that, I'm not going to go any further with right now. But when you guys see the roadmap, as you get involved, if you're able to get whitelisted, I'm just saying, I'm super excited about the project.
Just want to say, Cheese, thank you for the super chat. We greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. As much love, Paul, CVO fam, all the way. That's what I'm talking about. Guys, with that being said, CVO, his group, if you want more detailed analysis like you're seeing here in way higher detail, way higher time frame, right, then this is the group you want to be part of. It's CVO, Magic Internet Money, and I believe he has one other partner. But either way, it is amazing what they're doing in that Discord. I'm in there all the time watching what they're doing. If this blows your mind, what you're watching here, you don't even know what's happening over there in his Discord. So definitely go check it out, guys. Definitely
love it, guys. Crypto fam, speaking of love, we love each and every one of you. We appreciate you guys for being here. Again, Monday through Saturday, 7:15 p.m. This Saturday, debate Crypto Mason and Joshua Jake versus myself and BlockchainCrusader. Super excited for that. Every Thursday, TA Thursday, Paul will be here with us. Guys, we appreciate each and every one of you for being here. You just need to remember to question everything.
Well, and before we don't trust anything, Paul, any last words?
I'm gonna go through.
Trust nothing.
I'm gonna go through link real quick for our friend Cheese, and then we'll sign it off there.
Okay.
Great times ahead, I'm sure. And
we're gonna take a peek at for you, Cheese. We appreciate the love on the super chat, man. We'll take a peek before we take off.
The old cheese peak, crypto face. So for Link, pretty similar to a lot of the other altcoins I've been looking at, is that we wanted to see that monthly open reclaimed here. This was also double stacked, right? Look for that double stacked area. This is going to come in as some major resistance and support depending on where we are. We just flipped through it, right? Broke above, held it. So far, we look like we're taking off from it now. Looking to hold that monthly opening quarterly key level. And from here, we're looking up. This monthly key level up here at $20 would be my next. I'm sorry, the yearly open, $19 to $20 is that next area for me. And ultimately, the range high up here at about $24 in the short term for the old Linkster.
Thank you very much, Paul. And also, guys, if you're looking for Market Cipher to get involved with that as well, CryptoFace was just in the chat. You guys can get that down below. All the links are down below. Let's try this again, Miguel. We love you guys. We appreciate you for being here. Question everything.
Trust nothing.
And until next time, hodl
like it's hot.
We'll see you soon.
In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader.